Hi, everybody. I'm Samantha Royster. I am the North Carolina CERT Program Manager, that's Community Emergency Response Team Program Manager, and I work with the Division of North Carolina Emergency Management, which is part of the Department of Public Safety. What I want to talk to you today about is teaching CERT in high schools for your public safety academies. So real quick, I'm going to share my screen so you can see my presentation. And we should be sharing now. So again, this is me, and I'm just going to get right through this. Maybe. There we go. So here are the topics I want to cover: how you can become a certified trainer, where you're going to get the materials that you use for teaching CERT. I'll show you a little bit about the online option for CERT basic training. How we do testing when you're doing the class in person in your classroom, how we do testing for those who do the class online, how to register your students in terms. That's another great acronym, and we'll get to that in a minute. It's our training, exercise, and response management system, and I'll be showing you that as well. So just to get started, let's talk about how you, as a high school teacher in public safety, how do you become a certified CERT trainer? Because you are already a teacher, you have a couple of options that are slightly different from the average general public person who may want to be a CERT trainer. You can take a CERT basic training class either in person or online, and you can search terms for those in-person classes or email me, let me know where you are, and I can help point you to the class nearest you, or you can do the online class. That's also an option. You also could take the CERT Train the Trainer class, which is offered through my office. I'm maybe planning to do a class in Raleigh in the fall, but if there's enough interest, I also could offer this as an online, a live class, not a recorded class. I've done it several times and it does work fine doing it that way. So if you wanted to do an online class and there's enough interest, I can certainly put that together for you. The thing about the Train the Trainer class is that, again, you are already a teacher. So a lot of the material there covers how to teach a class, how to manage a classroom. And I would think that as high school teachers, you probably know a lot more about managing a classroom than I do. So I really think it might be the best use of your time to take a basic training class, either in person or online, so that you're very familiar with the CERT material. Given your position, you probably have a background in public safety of some kind, so you certainly know all or most of the skills that we teach in CERT basic training. And what would be important for you is to learn where the line is drawn about how far can CERT go, say in medical treatments or something. So you would learn that very well in a CERT basic training class. So where you get your CERT basic training materials, when you complete any of the prerequisites to become a CERT trainer and send me your certificate by email if you do the online class, then I'll share my Google Drive with you, which is where I keep all the PowerPoints, the slides and videos and handouts. You can also get those slides from ready.gov/CERT, but because we're trying to have some consistency across the state, I would prefer for you to use my slide set because they are North Carolina centered, and the ones that you get from FEMA are much more general. You can always add your own photos as well to the slides, and I highly encourage you to do that. Yeah, I think we're going to show you that in just a second. So this is what the Google Drive looks like. So when I share this with you, you'll see here, these are all of the different PowerPoints that you would use. And then I have separate folders here for where the handouts are. And most of these handouts are not from FEMA. They're not strictly handouts that were made specifically for CERT. They're just things that I have seen and picked up along the way of the 10 years that I've been teaching this class now. And I'll see something and go, wow, that would be a great handout for CERT. And so I put it in there. You are not obligated to use any or all of those handouts, but take a look at them. You might like them. You might find something in there that you think would be relevant for your students. And so you're more than welcome to use any that you want in there. Under supplemental training, I have some other classes beyond basic training if you want some ideas of classes or exercises that you might want to do with your students. So check those out as well. And then there are several videos, a few that were made specifically for CERT, and then some other things that I've, again, kind of picked up along the way. So you can find those there. I do want to exit out of this PowerPoint real quick and show you this page here is ready.gov/CERT, and you can find the materials here as well. These are, as I said, the base FEMA slides, so they don't include a lot of the material that I have added to the CERT program. And again, my slides are more North Carolina centered, but I do want you to be familiar with this site, so ready.gov/CERT. And if you scroll down a bit, you'll see this heading of CERT Basic Training. And right here are the training materials. So we have the instructor guide, an instructor guide hazard annex if you want to talk about different types of hazards to prepare for. All of your presentation slides, what I just showed you in the Google Drive, they're all right here. The hazard annex slides are here. The student manual is here. The student hazard annex is here. And then they have some videos here. Some of these are also in my Google Drive. And I would just recommend that you take a look at these and use whichever ones you think are helpful. I will say things like the disaster psychology that they have here. It's like a 45-minute video, and you certainly can't use that in place of teaching the material in that unit. And I'm not going to make people sit and watch a 45-minute video, but maybe you send your students that link and ask them to watch it on their own time. But as a teacher, I think you should be familiar with what is in these videos. So do check them out and see what you think. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you there. So let me go back to the PowerPoint and present that. All right. So that's the Google Drive and ready.gov. If you want to do the online training, I'm going to exit out of here again. So you can go to onlinecert.org, which will bring you to this page right here. And it's a little not intuitive about how you find the course. So once you land here, you want to click on online courses and then choose the online course. It is offered in English and Spanish and soon Mandarin. So if you click on English and wait for that to come up, there's this little red button way over here on the right that you have to click to register. This is a free class, but you do have to create an account there and register for that. I just want to be sure you don't get confused with this other class here, which is Neighborhood Emergency Response Planning. That is not the CERT training. You want this first one where it says Hybrid CERT. So you click on English and then click register, and that is what actually gets you into the class. So that's how you find the online CERT training that is available. All right, so that's online CERT. So if you are teaching your students in the classroom and you're using the PowerPoint slides and handouts and videos, then your students will have their skills tested organically throughout the class. So when you're teaching Unit 4, which is about medical treatment, it's Disaster Medical Operations Part 2, where we talk about treating different types of wounds, bandaging, splinting, and that sort of thing. So you'll be evaluating the students as they go along. So there's no need to do extra tests, although I do have, I'll have to look if they're on the Google Drive. If not, I'll put them there. I do have small quizzes that I have developed for each unit, so you're certainly welcome to use those. When you finish the class, there is a multiple choice test that is in your instructor guide, and the students must pass that with at least a 75% to pass the class. Do make sure that the students have accounts in terms, and I'll get there in a second. And then you just email me a list of the students who have passed, and then I'll send you a PDF that has all of their certificates in there. I'm going to show you terms in a second, so I'm going to hold off on that for a second. If you have students who do the online version of the class, they will get a little quiz, a little test at the end of each unit. They actually can't advance to the next unit until they've completed the quiz for the current unit. When they finish the class, they will get an electronic certificate. It's a PDF. Please save that. You'll be keeping that for your records. I don't necessarily need to see a copy of their certificate because with you as their teacher, if you tell me that they completed it, I believe you. So I don't necessarily have to see their certificates. Then there's a skills checklist that they will have to complete, and that is in the Google Drive, and I will also show you an example of what that looks like here in just a second. So that is where you would have to be in person with them, or I guess you could do like a live WebEx or something where you observe them doing the skills, like putting on a splint, for example, or, you know, squeezing off a fire extinguisher. There are just some things that you can't really do in an online class. You have to put your hands on. So then just like the others, make sure that they have accounts and terms, email me the list of their names, and I will send you a PDF of their certificates. So this is the skills checklist. This is the student copy. On the instructor copy, I have, you know, in green on here, I put what some of the answers are, so you can be sure that they're giving you correct answers. So you'll see there are some questions, but then there are also things like, this is something that you need to see them do: perform a capillary refill test, a radial pulse test, and a carotid pulse test. So that's something you need to watch them do and make sure that they're doing it correctly. Offer them some feedback and guidance if they're not doing it correctly, so that they know how to do it. And again, I'm going to take your word for this, as since you are the teacher. If you tell me that they can do everything on this checklist, then I believe you. You don't have to necessarily send me this checklist. When you send me that list of names and you say these 10 students completed everything, then I take that as, you know, that I believe you. So that's the skills checklist. So this is what terms looks like. I want to show it to you live as well. Many of you may have seen this if you registered for classes with emergency management before. When you first log on, this is what you see. If you already have an account, you log in here. If your students need to create their accounts, then they click right here where it says create account now. And so they would just go through this and answer the questions. Here where it asks for the last 4 digits of the social, that does not actually have to be a social. It can be any 4 digits as long as they're going to remember what it is. I don't care if they put 1, 2, 3, 4, anything. They just have to put 4 numbers there. You can see I use 9999 when I have to put someone in and I don't know the last 4 of their social. I always use 9999. But there'll be several screens here that they have to fill out to create their account. Everyone is required to have a unique email address. So everybody should have that. If they don't have it through your school, there's lots of places like Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo where they can get a free email. So that should not be a barrier to getting an account in terms. All right, back to the PowerPoint. Here we go. So that's just showing you terms. And next, come on. Here we go. All right. Oh, so that was everything. I covered everything I said I wanted to in the outline. And here's my contact information. If you have any questions, issues, concerns, anything, questions about CERT, please do reach out. I have my phone number there and my email address. I'm very happy to help you through anything. I'm even happy to do a WebEx with you to walk you through stuff if necessary. Just whatever it takes for you to be able to teach your students. I want to make sure that you and your students are getting the most out of it that you can. I do have lots of ideas, mostly from other teachers, of other activities and things you can do with your students. And if you're interested in starting a CERT club at your high school, I have some great resources for that. Other teachers around the state who have done that with great success, and be happy to share any of that with you. I will be doing a live Q&A. I believe that's on Friday the 23rd. So if you have questions, jot them down. I'm happy to answer them at that time, or you can always call me or email me. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.